Hey friends, welcome back to Money Breath Magic. Today, we are going to be talking about how our relationship with money very much mirrors how we show up in relationship with like a partner, whether that be in dating situations, your marriage, what have you. I have been dating here in Barcelona and I've been meeting different guys and they've all got their different quirks and the ways that they show up in relationships. And so as a money girly, I go into these dates and I see how these guys are interacting with me after the date or leading up to the date, during the date, whatever, and all I could think about is, oh, this is like good content about how it relates to our relationship with money. So in my dating experience, I have been thinking about what are the relationship intimacy killers and what are the intimacy strengtheners. And so this is going to be a two-part series. Today in part one, we're going to be talking about the top 5 relationship intimacy killers that I see are killing your relationship with money. And then in part 2 of the series, which will come next week, I'm going to take you through the top 5 relationship intimacy strengtheners that are actually strengthening your relationship with money. But first, if you're new here, my name's Sue Ellen. I'm a CPA, I'm a money and manifestation coach, and I'm really here to help you heal your relationship with money from the inside out. After working with clients and in the corporate industry for over 17 years, I realized that the missing piece for people wasn't the strategy side of money. Yes, that's important, but what is really missing for people to actually build wealth that feels good to where you're not lying awake at night, constantly worried that you're going to lose it, you're scared of not making more of it. All of those fears that come up around money and that just like the overwhelm is because people don't have a healthy relationship with money. And that is what I'm here on this channel to help you transform so you can create wealth and have it actually feel good. All right, so let's dive into the content that I have planned for you today. Today, we're talking about the 5 key relationship intimacy killers. These are the 5 things that if you are showing up in this way, it is killing your relationship with money. And so I always want to bring this back to, I think the easiest way to understand your relationship with money is to think about it as if you were in a relationship with a partner, as if you were dating, as if the guy or woman that you are dating is showing up in this way. Would this actually be strengthening or hurting my relationship? That's the best way. Like, look at money in the same way that you would look at the partnership. And so as I sat and I thought about this, I'm like, okay, what are like the 5 biggest things that happen in relationships that are literally sucking dry the intimacy in the relationship? If you want a relationship to grow, you need to have intimacy, right? And I'm not just talking about actual sexual intimacy. I'm talking about a relationship dynamic where it's intimate, where you have deep conversations, where you're connected with that person, where you feel safe with that person. You feel like you are held by that person. You feel like you can open up. You feel like you can be yourself. You feel like there's mutual respect. You feel like there's give and take. That's intimacy, right? And I think that you can look at different relationships, whether it be like your own or relationships maybe your friends are currently in, or like you see on movies or what have you. You can see and you can tell what is going on in the relationship that's actually killing that relationship, that's killing the intimacy in that relationship. So we're going to talk about the top 5 that I see as it relates to money, but also with the guys I've been dating. So let's get into it. Number 1, the first relationship killer that I see is controlling behavior. So let's think about in a relationship with a partner, if you were showing up controlling, if you were showing up and you weren't allowing that person to have a second to breathe, you weren't allowing that person to have an opportunity to live their own life, to have their own friends, to have their own hobbies and things going on, and you were trying to control every minute of their day, every single thing that they were doing, who they were hanging out with, how they were spending their time, what they were doing for fun, would that be helping your relationship? No. That is very much controlling behavior, and that's coming from this like anxious attachment style. It's the same thing with money, guys. Are you showing up with your money trying to control every single piece of it? Meaning, are you constantly checking your bank account 15 times a day? Are you hyper vigilant when it comes to your money? Like over the top being frugal to where you don't allow yourself to spend a dime on yourself or your family or fun or joy. Like you are so hyper vigilant when it comes to your spending because you think that it's giving yourself control over your finances by gripping on so tight. Are you not allowing yourself to spend on things that bring you joy? Every single time that you spend your money, do you feel yourself clench up because you feel like you're losing control? All right, number 2, criticism. I mean, I think this is like a no-brainer. Are you constantly criticizing your partner, telling them that what they're doing isn't enough? It needs to be different. You're not doing it the way that I need to have it done. You're not doing it how I think it should be done. When are you going to be better? When are you going to do more? Like constantly criticizing this person. Is that actually going to help the intimacy in your relationship? No. Okay. No, of course not. It's the same thing in our relationship with money. So are you constantly criticizing money? Are you constantly telling money that it's not enough, that it's not doing enough for you, that it's not showing up in the way that you think it should show up? Because you may not recognize that money is actually flowing to you all the time in your life. It just doesn't look the way that you think it should look. Have you ever noticed in your life when you got a huge discount on something as a surprise that you weren't expecting? That's money. Somebody buys you lunch. You're in the Starbucks line and the person in front of you does the whole like giving thing to where you earn a free coffee. Money is constantly flowing. And even if it's not deposited into your bank account from your job or from your business in the way that you expect it to, that doesn't mean that money is not flowing to you. How often are you criticizing money and telling money it's not enough, you're not doing enough, you're not doing it right, like you need to do it exactly how I think you should look like and how much I think you should be? How often are you criticizing money? Killing the relationship, girlies. Number 3 is avoidance. And this is probably the thing I see most often with the people who come to start working with me. Avoiding, avoiding, avoiding. They aren't in relationship with their money at all. They avoid it because it's scary, it's terrifying. They don't have the knowledge around it, which no shame. You guys aren't CPAs, like duh. That's why you have people like me to learn from. Let's think about if you just started dating somebody, right? And you're dating these guys and they're just not responding to the text messages. Maybe you don't hear from them for like 2 days on end. Maybe they ghost you for a week and then they show back up. Like, no. Okay. It's a hard pass. It's a no. Okay. We value ourselves more than these inconsistent men who are avoiding us. Absolutely not. Okay. Can you tell I've had these in my life? If you are showing up that way with money, if you are avoiding money, if you're not giving money the time of day, if you're not having a relationship with money, you're not checking in with money, you're not asking money, how are you doing? What do you need today? What do you need from me? This is a relationship, guys. We are in a relationship with money. If you are avoiding it, if you are running from it, how do you expect money to show up in relationship with you? If you are not looking at your numbers, I preach this over and over and over again. If you are not looking at your money on a weekly basis, you are avoiding your numbers because I get it. It's scary sometimes, especially if we have these old stories about money that need to be worked through or triggers and traumas. And like we have all of our like self-identity and our self-worth is all wrapped up in money. But if we don't face it, if we don't learn how to regulate our nervous system and face the avoidance that we are experiencing, we are never going to have a healthy relationship with money. This is like number 1, guys. We have to stop avoiding our money. One of the biggest things I preach on this channel is that you need to have a money date. You need to be sitting down with your money every single week. I don't care if it's for 5-10 minutes, checking in with your money and having a relationship with it. Setting down, setting some time aside and prioritizing this relationship. If we want a relationship to grow, we have to be in relationship with that person or money in this instance. We have to be committed to dedicating our time to being in relationship with money. If you're avoiding your numbers, you are killing your relationship with money. Number 4 is resentment. So how would this look if you're in an actual relationship with a partner and say something happens, nobody is perfect, right? Like we all make mistakes in our relationship and you guys work through it, you resolve the issue, but you are still showing up with massive resentment towards that person. You can never let it go. And so in that relationship, every time that little thing comes up, you just pick and pry even more. You never detach and say, okay, we are energetically moving on. We're putting that in the past and our relationship is moving forward. You are harboring resentment. That is a relationship killer. That's an intimacy killer, right? Same thing with money. Are you holding on to resentment? Whether it's past things that have happened in your life around money, past decisions that you've made around money, are you holding on resentment towards money? Maybe something happened in your life with a partner, or maybe growing up, there was something within your money story that has created some resentment around money. If you are showing up in your relationship with money and you are resentful towards money, why will money want to be in relationship with you? It won't. It's an intimacy killer. And then number 5, comparison. Comparison is the thief of all joy, right? Isn't that how the saying goes? If you're in a relationship and you are constantly comparing either your partner to somebody else, to a friend's partner, to one of your past partners, don't do that, guys. To someone else's relationship that you see on the internet that might not even be truthful, that might not even be true. Comparison is the thief of all joy. Obviously, that's going to kill the intimacy within your own relationship, right? Same thing when we think about our money. Are you constantly comparing your money story to somebody else's money story? Are you constantly comparing your money journey to somebody else's money journey? And usually when this happens is there's either some sort of like jealousy, like you wish that you could have this experience the same as this other person. Jealousy is not always a bad thing. Jealousy is showing your subconscious like, oh, I actually want that thing. Jealousy can be used for like motivation, I think, but it also can obviously be toxic, right? People feel jealous because they don't fully believe that whatever that thing that other person has is possible for themselves. And so I would say, like, if you're feeling jealous and comparing your money story to somebody else's money story that maybe you see on the internet or a friend or what have you, take that as a sign of like, oh, okay, this is just showing me that that's actually something that I desire. But what it's showing me is that I don't think that it's actually possible for me. And that's the work that we want to dig into deeper is like, why don't I believe that that's actually possible for me? And that's the limiting belief work that we do. And we work through it because let me tell you, babe, it is possible for you. So comparison is the thief of all joy. When you are showing up with your relationship with money, are you constantly comparing your experience to someone else's? That is going to kill your relationship with money. So we have controlling, we have criticism, we have avoidance, we have resentment, and then we have comparison. These are the 5 biggest intimacy killers in our relationship with money. Obviously, I could list off probably 15 more, right? There's so many things that you can think about within your own relationship with a partner that would kill your relationship. Those same things will kill your relationship with money. And I just want you to know, if any of this is happening within your relationship dynamic with money, it's not that you're broken, that something's wrong with you, that you're a terrible person, that you need to shame yourself, guilt yourself around this. It's just we need to become aware with it. And the way we become aware is start being hyper aware of what's coming up for us whenever we interact with money. So whenever you're spending money, whenever you get a surprise bill, whenever you get a large deposit in your bank account, whenever you're scrolling social media, do you find yourself doing the whole like comparison trap? We need to get in touch with how we are actually feeling when we interact with money. A lot of this is just the patterns we've learned. Honestly, when we can go and we can dissect our money story and see, okay, this is what I experienced as a child. These are the things and the way that I was raised and the place that I was raised and who I was raised with and the things that happened in my story that have literally shaped this relationship that I have currently today with money. All of this can be transformed. Nothing is broken with you. It's literally just your body, your nervous system responding based on your past experiences and patterns that you've had in your life. The exact way that you've learned your attachment style in relationship, being anxious, being avoidant, etc. All of that can be unlearned. Same thing with your relationship with money. It can be unlearned. And it's once we become aware, we start implementing some practices. We start rewiring our beliefs around what's possible. We start anchoring it into the nervous system, creating safety. You can become secure. You can feel secure. You can have a secure relationship when you show up with money. And when you do that, when you heal your relationship with money, you're able to show up and not only make more money, this is going to help you create more money and more wealth in your life because of your relationship to it and the way that the laws of the universe work. This not only allows you to make more money, but actually have it feel good. When you interact with money, whenever you get a surprise bill in the mail, you don't lay up awake at night at 2 a.m. freaking out. It allows you to create a plan, to create investments, to create goals, to create savings for your future, to meet those goals. It allows you to not feel this hypervigilance, to feel overwhelmed, to feel scared, to feel fear, to feel in lack and scarcity constantly. And it's by doing this work, when you heal your relationship with money, you can show up from a secure space. You can make more money and it can actually feel good. So these are the top 5 relationship killers, intimacy killers that I see. Next week, we are going to talk about the top 5 relationship builders of the way that we want to show up in relationship with money to actually strengthen it, to actually start healing our relationship with money, to be in harmonious relationship with money. And if you want to dive deeper into this work, if you're starting to see yourself in these like 5 things, or you can already think about some things and ways that you show up with money that you kind of know are unhealthy, this is the exact work that I do with my clients. I would like to invite you to come work with me one-on-one in my transformational money coaching experience, where we dive deep into your own money story, your own money triggers, the belief systems around your money, the nervous system, and we implement some strategy to where you can feel like you have a healthy relationship with money, but where you also have the systems in place to actually support the wealth that you are building. I'll leave the link for that in the show notes below. I'd love for you to drop in the comments and let me know which of these 5 resonated with you the most this week. I hope you have an amazing week ahead, and I'll catch you in part 2 of this series next week. Talk to you all later. Bye.